Hello people! Welcome back. The order of business for today is to catch up with the story of the season of Echoes. This time we got a lot of failsafe, with the Vanguard finally installing fiber internet so that she can have a direct connection to us and not be all by her lonesome on Nessus. We also get a lot of X this time around, and since I like them as an enemy factions, any season that they are heavily featured is a win for me. Most of our time here is spent analyzing radiolaria, gathering radiolaria fragments for extra loot, and slaying any enemy that gets in our way. The main activity where this takes place is called the Breach executable, and this is what will be pushing the story forward. Gathering the radiolaria fragments is also what helps populate the home with gadgets, gizmos, and what's its galore, and since I'm a low-key collectionist, this is right up my alley. The main seasonal weapons we got this time are Vexstein, and as such I like them a whole lot. We also get reprised seasonal The Dawn weapons that look amazing in spite of their designs being from over 4 years ago. Me being the filthy casual that I am, I don't give much thought to perk combinations, so I don't really mind their perk pools. I do try to at least have functional weapons so as to not bring pea shooters to the other activities. Now, the armor has a cyber samurai vibe going on that looks cool, but it ain't really doing it for me. I would have much preferred an armor that leaned more into the Vex aesthetic. Now, the story is off to a very slow start, which is understandable. We just roll credits on a 10-year saga with the release of the final shape, so any story we get from now on will go through the very slow process of setting up characters, places, and power dynamics. So it makes sense to me that the first act of this season ended the way it did. But before we continue, a quick rundown on the story. After we put the witness 6 feet under, some things got out of the traveler. They are referred to as echoes, and one of those landed on Nessus. And this is where we come in, aiding failsafe in studying the phenomenon and going through the process of uncovering what the fudge is going on. At some point throughout, Saint 14 goes missing until we find him at the end of the first act. This gives us the big reveal that he's an entity that was simulated in the Infinite Forest. Okay, for those that are missing some context, first thing of note is that in our canon, Saint 14 died a long time ago. We were his helmet from time to time, which strangely enough he never comments on. The second bit is that the Infinite Forest was basically a huge vast computer that was located on Mercury, that ran simulations on reality. Since they pretty much made the PC version of the multiverse, you could pretty much jump from one timeline to another while inside the Infinite Forest. And that is how we land back to Saint 14 being from a simulated reality where he didn't die, and somehow manages to find his way out. While that's somewhat interesting development, my reaction was like, hold up, time out. So, Saint is a simulation, fine, but you're also telling me that the Vex that we are fighting are probably simulators as well? Really? Are the Vex simply copy-pasting their armies? Bungie, can you answer, please? At the very least, it's a very interesting lore implications. Overall, the first half of the season went as what could be expected of it. It's kinda going slow with possible setups for future content and events. Like they threw out a hint that we might be leaving the solar system sometime soon. That could mean new planets to explore in the somewhat near future, which is always good. So I'm looking forward to that. We also got the other seasons coming, with what looks like a vampire scum coming up next. Then after that, it seems like we will go aboard a Hive Dreadnought, with some speculation going about that not only is it the one that belonged to Oryx, but it might also be our ticket out of the solar system. Then comes along Act 2, where the research continues as Nessus is going through some more changes. Radiolaria is being drained and the deeper parts of the planets can be investigated. In the meantime, Saint 14 is having his spacing out while looking out of a car window moment because of the big revelation. This wrote about some interesting implication about his relationship with Osiris, since we are shown that while their love might be real, their paths aren't exactly lining up. Too bad that the seasonal model doesn't give much room to explain that any further, since that get resolved relatively quickly, if in a somewhat extreme fashion. That is, because the investigation led to the regulator being drained to the core of the planet. At the same time, we deduce that the conductor should also be there, but in order to make our way there, we need to find the course of the same 14 of our timeline. In the process of looking for it, we learned that one function of Nessus is basically to be extra storage where deprecated simulators' realities are placed once they are deemed not useful. So we dive into an old version of the Infinite Force, we find a corpse, the life saint basically copy pastes his memory from the dead version into his own, and we find out where the conductor is. The bonus was that Saint 14 reaffirms himself and his love for Osiris, which was nice. To the surprise of nobody, because it was hinted in the promo materials, the conductor turned out to be a person. Her name is Maya Sonderich, a researcher that threw herself into the Infinite Forest, got simulated a gajillion times, and then all of them got fused together into one entity by the Echo of Command. Because it turns out this is the first time the Echo is referenced in such a fashion, so this might have some implications down the line. But in any case, the plot dictates that we can't fight her yet, and we dip out of there post-haste. That is because we are Batman coded, and we need prep time to beat her, even though we just sealed the tomb of what can be considered to be a super Paracoso entity before. In any case, this particular story beat made my brain go brrr, because one possibility that materialized almost immediately was that we could meet Effects Ally in the near future. That's because if Maya is a simulation, then there's probably is already a simulation where the Vex could halt her progress or even take over the Echo of Command, maybe leading to the creation of a similar entity as her. And since our Guardian is a war calling on all of this, combined with the now concrete concept of simulations being able to go in and out freely, it makes sense that we might meet a Vex that might be able to oppose her. I might want to talk to us in order to deal with her. So for now, all we can do is wait until Act 3 finally drops to see what happens. But what do you guys think is gonna happen next? Let me know down in the comments below. Thank you all for watching. Like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you are looking forward to whatever I come up with next. Take care, stay hydrated, and see you next time. Bye bye!